What were you people thinking, bro? Like white people, do some of y'all think before y'all just do stuff, bro? Do y'all just not value your careers? You don't value your lives? You just come out here and just be openly racist and do openly racist crap for nothing? Like y'all not even becoming millionaires off this crap anymore. Back in your day, back in your people's day, bro, when they was out here being racist, they was getting this money, they was getting this cheddar, they were being millionaires off this racism. Y'all doing it for free and broke and risking it all for what? For what? Y'all don't even know how to be racist right anymore. Y'all out here getting married on mimic plantations, bro. In 2024, bro? On Black History Month?
Oh, so fabulous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumebi. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. I do hope you decide to subscribe, and if you are a returning subscriber, you guys know that I love you. It's so good to have you here. Welcome back once again. So my usual disclaimer, please, this video is strictly for educational purposes. Do not go searching out anybody that I talk about in this video. Don't send them any form of hate comment, threats, or violence. This channel does not support any of that. So today's video is something that is not very new to me. This is like another version of the same thing that I see that keeps happening over and over again. I think the oldest video that I saw about this was made about 4 or 5 days ago. So this definitely happened in Black History Month. A wedding venue, which is like a barn farm kind of setting in the south of America, was exposed or has been under fire for being accused of being a refurbished old slave plantation. They made a video on TikTok, and then a lot of people have been stitching it. People have been calling them out for basically trying to beautify and make money off of an old slave plantation and pass it off as a wedding venue. So let me just go right ahead and play the video that started all of this backlash.
Wanted to walk y'all through our cute little guest cottages real quick this morning. I am walking through them now for our guests to arrive for this weekend. The White Magnolia Wedding Venue is over here, and we have guests coming in this weekend for their rehearsal dinner, wedding, and brunch. But I wanted to walk you through and show you how cute our little guest cottages are. So when you walk in, this is your view. Everybody's always like, oh my gosh, they are so much bigger than they look, and they are. They are so cute and cozy. We have the fridges and the microwaves, the coffee pots, little seating area, heaters. We have one queen bed downstairs. You go in here, you have your bathroom and little getting ready area. And then in the next section, you have your clawfoot bathtubs, shower, and toilet and towel area. They are just so cute. You have your windows with your closed curtains with a beautiful view of the venue and the pond. And then let me take you upstairs. So there is an upstairs in all of the cottages. It has a beautiful view as well. And then you're going to have another queen bed upstairs, and it looks out directly over the downstairs area. But yeah, that is our super cute and cozy guest cottages. Your guests, when you stay here, can book them. So that way people spend like a family weekend together rather than just coming to your wedding and leaving.
Ooh. So when you see everything, you're definitely reminded of those old slave plantations where you have the actual house, the big house, and then you have the field, and then you have those little cabins that the slaves were supposed to have as living quarters, right? Once you see it, I believe that's the first thing that comes to mind. So they are being called out all over TikTok, and of course they were forced to turn the comment section off on that particular video. And you guys, it's a big business because I went through their page and it is very organized. They have a website. Apparently it's not even a new venue, it's been existing for quite a while. They have several videos of different weddings that have gone on there. It's an actual existing business, and I guess it was just not their lucky day because finally they got the video that got to the wrong side of TikTok, right? Obviously, that venue is being marketed to palm colored people. That venue is designed in their taste. So obviously, black folks were not their target audience, but it got on the black side of TikTok, and then the videos have been rolling in. People are expressing shock and disappointment. Let me just go right ahead and play some of the videos that people made in response to the original video.
All right, as a wedding planner, this pisses me off. And here's why. So you have this organization, this company that is showing cottages on their property so that way you can rent them during your wedding. And I believe that these are former slave quarters. We're talking about Louisiana. We're talking about Charleston, South Carolina. And there are so many other organizations like Boom Hall, Plantation and Gardens, Magnolia Plantation and Gardens, who have been under fire, especially during the pandemic, for glamorizing plantations where couples can get married. Like, we know that slavery was a thing, despite what other people may say. And the fact that you're trying to have a wedding on a plantation and you don't want to have any awareness or accountability to the fact that you're having a wedding on this plantation is the problem. And with this particular company, you go to to this video that they show and they turned off all the comments, right? No edification as to if this is a new structure or if this actually were inhabited by slaves. And then you go to the next video that they have that is also, the comments are turned off, and they're happy that this video went viral. Beloved, this video didn't go viral because of the fact that people were happy to have enslaved cottage to live in during their wedding. You have no accountability for what you're doing, nor do you want to clarify if what we're asking is true or not. So in situations like this, I will never recommend a place like this to my couples to have their wedding because it's absolutely disgusting. It's unnecessary, and during Black History Month. Seriously.
This is a Louisiana wedding venue that claims to have been built recently. This is what the property looks like. And it is a well-known wedding venue, family owned. I do find it a little bit funny though that when I type in Kentwood, Louisiana Plantation, this is what comes up. There it is right there. Isn't that interesting? Now, even if this property, this whole venue was built and these cottages were built in 2016, here's the problem for me with that. What exactly do you think they're trying to emulate? What exactly do you think they're trying to recreate with these guest cottages? What time frame in history do you think they're trying to recreate with those guest cottages? Whether or not those were built in 2016, recent build, and were not a plantation and did not have slaves there, it's obviously been recreated to symbolize, look like a specific time in history, a time that is obviously romanticized by white women in the South, a time where they reminisce on the cotton rows that they would ride past on their way to town to get a cold soda, where the white magnolias were in full bloom, sweet, lazy summer days in the sweet old South. And this is what people want to romanticize and fantasize as some fairy tale for them to go get married at. So despite the fact that these may have been built recently, I still have an issue with them looking like slave quarters. And I don't feel like it makes it any better that they modeled them to look this way. Maybe I'm missing what part of that is romantic.
As a four-quarter coon, I must say that this has been one of the most exciting Black history.
Wanted to walk y'all through our cute little guest cottages real quick this morning, walking through them now for our guests to arrive for this weekend.
If you don't know what I'm speaking about, basically a whole bunch of people on my For You page have been discussing the White Magnolia wedding venue in Louisiana. It is a plantation-style wedding venue. And please don't try to argue with me in the comments. That is what it is. Apparently the venue is not a plantation, but if you look up plantation venues in Louisiana, it pops up. I wonder why. Okay, because they know, we know, Google knows. Okay, good. When it comes to that, Southern charm, antebellum, style wedding, there is a real fine line between aw and oh, hell no. Yeah. So now these new cottages, let me show you what they look like. Oh. What I would like to say, I'm not going to say much, but I do suggest that everybody who wants to have one of these style weddings, okay, and stay in one of these cottages, please go and visit the National Museum of African American History and Culture in DC. They got one of these. You can go stand in it. You're going to feel something. So if you feel something in a space that is, honoring these cabins and the experiences that our people have gone through, imagine the feeling that you're going to get when your dumb ass is staying in a Disney princess version of a slave. Okay, you gonna fuck around and bring something home with you. It's gonna be one of them oh yeah.
Turning slave quarters into vacation villas is a great metaphor for where we are in society. So this central Louisiana wedding venue was a working cattle farm and horse ranch that has been literally whitewashed and pickled, so much pickled wood, to look like the Pinterest beige mom wedding venue of someone's dreams. And the mother-daughter duo who has created this wedding venue are excited to offer the old-fashioned charm of yesteryear for the event of your dream. And what strikes me about it is it highlights a lot of things about America. First of all, I think a lot of Americans who've gone through our high school education system don't realize working animals like cattle and horses was something that enslaved people did. Our education system often focuses on cotton. Certainly that happened. But a lot of animal rearing was very hard labor and thus sadly relegated to enslaved people. So unlike plantation, they think they get a free pass because most people won't notice, really highlighting a big part of America where we've educated people to miss out on big parts of our history. So they can imagine that there was a charm of yesteryear. And this is the bigger thing. There's a lot of America that would like to ignore that charm of yesteryear came at the expense of people's lives. People's liberty. This nation was built on free labor. And a venue like this, turning slave quarters into vacation cottages, is really like what happens in this country. Let's just pretend like that didn't happen. We'll just cover right over that with our myth of the past and make a double occupancy faux luxury space, all the while pretending our past isn't still here with us.
Little seating area.
Those are slave houses. That's a former plantation. Those are slave houses. Those are repurposed slave homes. Renovated slave homes. Ain't nothing hee hee ha ha cute about any of that. People died there. I hope to God whoever stays in those is haunted for the rest of their fucking life. I swear to God. That's like renovating one of the bunk houses in Auschwitz. Same thing. Same thing as renovating one of those, like a little part of the property of Auschwitz. Can't tell me any different. So incredibly grody and insensitive and tone deaf. Like, why would you want to stay there?
Cute little guest cottages, real quick.
Are those new guest cottages? They kind of look like they've been there a while. And if they're not new, where were they before? And do they happen to be built prior to 1865? Though I think I already know the answer. You know, if you're a person of color and you get invited to a wedding at that particular venue, don't go. Especially if you've seen the movie Antebellum with Janelle Monáe. I'm afraid you might have a difficult time leaving. Well, anyway, this has been Doc for Diesel Punk Industries, and this has been the absolutely worst Black History Month ever.
The White Magnolia Wedding Venue describes itself as an elegant country venue situated on a family-owned and well-manicured 110-acre working quarter horse and commercial cattle farm located in Kentwood, Louisiana, just 30 minutes from both Hammond, Louisiana and Macomb, Mississippi. The White Magnolia Wedding Venue provides a mix of vintage charm and Southern style. Our Magnolia Manor is located right over the Mississippi state line and just 6 miles from the White Magnolia. Magnolia Manor is perfect for your rehearsal dinner, shower, or party, where the old-fashioned charm of yesteryear meets the event of your dreams. Now that description confirms why we all thought those guest cottages look like slave quarters. Southern charm, yesteryear, Magnolia Manor. All of those scream antebellum period. But here, let's take a look at the White Magnolia wedding venue. This right here is the wedding venue. What everybody says looks like a barn. What we would say looks like the big house, right? It looks like they've got a church, or what looks like a church on the property. And then back here are the slave quarters. Oops, I'm sorry. The guest cottages. Yeah. But let's be clear. They had a vision in mind. And they used the words as Southern Charm, yesteryear, Magnolia Manor, vintage. Yeah, they used those descriptive words to describe the antebellum period, in my opinion. In my opinion. So yeah, you'll see a certain type of clientele. You won't see many black people going here to get married, but you will see hundreds, thousands of people, white people over the years going to White Magnolia wedding venue to get married, because for whatever reason, slavery is romantic for them. The antebellum period, that's romantic to them. That screams love and coming together as one for a lifetime. Before I go, White Magnolia wedding venue and Magnolia Plantation are not to be confused with Magnolia Plantation and Gardens, built in 1679 out in one of the Carolinas, child. They do weddings too, and they have beautiful gardens, and they've got a beautiful big house too.
So there's been claims that this wedding venue was built from the ground up, was built from scratch, that it is not really an old slave plantation. But as you guys saw in those stitches, there have been arguments that yes, it really is, because even on Google, it is listed as one of the old slave plantations. And people also went ahead to say, even if it really was not an old slave plantation, it is obvious that the way it was built was definitely inspired by old slave plantations. The cottages, in quotes, was obviously inspired by those tiny little cubicles that the slaves used to live in, where there's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. That an old slave plantation is practically the same as a burial ground. And for the life of me, I do not understand why someone would want to begin their marital life and spend one of the most important days of their life, which is the day you actually say I do, in such a place. And yes, even if this particular place is not an old slave plantation, you cannot lie to me that palm color people have not been doing this. I've covered several videos just like these ones, where palm colored people have a way of romanticizing old slave plantations, either visiting them or having events there, especially weddings. And it makes me wonder, what is it about old slave plantations that fascinates these people? Is it that they like to relive the experience? They like to relive the history that went on those lands? Or is it that that's the only part of, in quote, their history or culture that they feel is worthy of being romanticized and made into part of their special day? Like, are there no other themes or locations or other ways that these people can actually celebrate their special day rather than doing it in a way that is reminiscent of such dark times? At this point, I am beginning to think that this will always happen. I'm sure that there are several slave plantations in the South of America and it will always happen. And I'm wondering, like, what would have been a preferable way to deal with these old slave plantations? Because in the comment section, some people who obviously do not care about black trauma are talking about, so what if it's an old slave plantation? There's trauma or dark history attached to almost every part of the world, and what is wrong in turning something that formerly used to be negative into something good, possibly refurbishing it and making money out of it, that they see nothing wrong in that. Left to me, especially being a black person, I see no reason why I would want to go to such places for any other reason other than research. The way you go to a museum to learn about your history and see things for yourselves, that is the only capacity in which I will go to such places. But for me to go there, even if it is refurbished and painted with white paint and with flowers on the bed, or no matter how good they want to make that place look or how cozy, I would definitely not be able to shake off the feeling of grief and trauma, and probably the spirit of the ancestors that are there that are probably waiting to haunt those people. It is unfortunate that nobody really cares about black trauma and black history, that such places are being preserved for the entertainment and the enjoyment of people who inflicted those same trauma on black people. Anyway, I want to know what you guys think about this whole thing. Please drop your opinion in the comment section. What do you guys think is the real obsession with these old plantations turned into wedding and event venues? Like, what do you guys think is the reason behind this weird phenomenon? I really want someone to explain it to me. And as a black person, do you think you would ever be able to hold a ceremony or your wedding in such a place, no matter how refurbished and beautiful it might look in this present day? Please let me know in the comment section. And then, is there anything you think black people in America can do to make sure that things like this stop happening? Also, please let me know your suggestions in the comment section. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.